Good evening. Just ahead in the local news, a first look at the incredible $64 million master plan for Albury Airport. Why the Victorian government's commitment to a Melbourne airport train is bad news for border travellers. A man fronts court over an attempted bank robbery in Lavington. Revealed the most common and expensive mistake we make with our medical care. And the Wodonga Raiders lock up a double chance in O&M footy, plus a full weather forecast for the working week. We'll see you in just a few moments.
This is Prime7 Local News with Kenny Heatley, Liz Gwynn and meteorologist Karl Lijnders with your local weather. Now, Prime7 Local News at 6.
Tonight, a multi-million-dollar master plan for Albury Airport. A mother avoids jail for assaulting a student she says was bullying her daughter. Exposing one of the biggest and most expensive misconceptions in our health system.
And a few light showers on the way for Tuesday. Your weather details are coming up next.
Good evening. Albury Airport could undergo a $64 million upgrade over the next 10 to 15 years. A report to be tabled at Council tonight says the biggest cost will be almost $5 million for runways. Local charter plane operators say it's long overdue.
Kevin Mack recently inspected the $8 million terminal upgrade, half of which was paid for by the state government. Helen, BALLARD, Prime7 News.
The North East train line has missed out on being hooked into Melbourne's new Tullamarine rail link plan. Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews and Public Transport Minister Jacinta Allen have announced the government will match the federal government's $5 billion funding pledge to finally build a rail link from Southern Cross Station to the airport. The preferred route will run west on the Sunbury line to Sunshine, which will pave the way for fast rail to Geelong and Ballarat.
Sub 1 hour service to Ballarat, a 30-minute service from Geelong. This is really important.
But Cluey North East travellers have already worked out a quick and cheap way to get to Tullamarine by getting off the train at Broadmeadows and getting a suburban bus direct to the airport. An Albury mother who assaulted a Murray High School student on school grounds has avoided jail. Josh Ribridge is at Albury Courthouse where he's been following the story. Josh, what can you tell us?
Kenny, the magistrate told the 35-year-old woman, who cannot be named for legal reasons, that if it wasn't for her personal situation, she would be behind bars tonight. The woman went to the school to complain to the principal about the victim, who she says was bullying her 14-year-old daughter. She was convicted, placed on an 18-month bond and fined $300. Kenny?
All right, thanks for that, Josh. Josh Ribridge there. A man accused of attempting to rob a bank in Lavington has returned to court today. Jason Nicholas appeared briefly in Albury local court this morning via video link from Junee Correctional Facility. The 41-year-old was arrested near the Lavington Square ANZ branch earlier this month and charged with demanding money with menace. He did not apply for bail and his matter was adjourned to August 20. A survey has found 30% of Australians thought Medicare would cover them if they needed an ambulance. With some emergency call-outs costing upwards of $1,700, residents are advised to get ambulance cover.
A new survey has found 1 in 3 Australians think Medicare covers the cost of an ambulance. The results found a staggering 5.7 million Aussies believe a trip in an ambulance won't cost them a cent. ELEANOR TABONE, Prime7 News.
Beechworth's historic jail may have a dark past, but it has a very bright future. Work has begun to transform the interior of the prison, with a cafe, commercial kitchen and bike shop all taking shape.
From the outside, the old Beechworth jail is as intimidating as ever. Inside, the 150-year-old building has never been more inviting.
The weather gods delivered at the North East Alps over the weekend with a dump of snow at major resorts. Mount Hotham had a whopping 34 centimetres of new snow, bringing the natural snow depth to 106 centimetres.
We've had some of the most sublime conditions we've had up here at Hotham over the weekend. The skies were opening up and with the terrain looking fantastic with some fresh powder. It was incredible.
Well, Liz is unfortunately away this week, but Karl is here for the weather. And Karl, it's looking good at the resorts. Is there more snow on the way this week? What do you think?
Patchy falls, Kenny. I think that's probably at best with the warm court system with rain later in the week. We get to that after sport tonight, but for now, temperatures today after a very chilly start start. Not too bad. Partly cloudy this afternoon. That's kept temperatures down. We've had plenty of wind around as well. Gales are occurring at all alpine resorts. Lifts are likely on wind hold again, with those conditions being quite unfavourable. Ahead of this weakening trough, and there's a series of about 7 cold fronts embedded within a westerly flow to the west of us. You can see them spiralling around and moving through at regular intervals. That will keep temperatures up at night. Daytime's a little chilly with high wind shear with a few showers about, but we have got colder nights coming in for Wednesday into Thursday. But note the temperatures up in the north and western parts of New South Wales. We'll see early springtime heat on the way, and I say heat because it's well above average. So, Kenny, as we get to later in the week, the snow line is expected to stay well to the south, unfortunately.
OK, mate, thanks for that. We'll chat to you again soon. Thank you. Still to come in Prime 7 News, a kangaroo left to die after being shot with a bow and arrow at Bonegillah. And adding insult to injury, how our medical system is hurting those who suffer chronic pain.
Stay in touch 24/7 with the all-new prime7.com.au.
Wildlife rescuers say they're horrified after finding a kangaroo which had been shot with an arrow on the weekend. The kangaroo was shot in the stomach at Bonegillah on Friday evening. Sadly, it could not be saved and had to be euthanased. Still to come in the local news, all the highlights from a huge weekend in local sport as the Tigers continue on their merry way in the O&M. But if anyone can catch them, it's the Wodonga Raiders, who have wrapped up a double chance. We'll see you soon with the sport. The Wodonga Raiders have all but secured the double chance after defeating Lavington in round 14. The Raiders sit a game and healthy percentage inside the top 3 and face only one top 5 side in the final 4 rounds.
One of the games of the season between the Raiders and Panthers opened with a 9-goal first term. The Raiders extended an 18-point quarter-time lead to 31 at half-time.
Albury are back inside the top 5 of O&M netball after a crushing 37-goal win over Myrtleford. The Tigers were always in control of the match, leading by 12 at quarter time and extending the margin at every break. Goal scorer Bree Poole, 28 goals alongside goal defender and coach Olivia Orton, were the Tigers' best. Meanwhile, North Albury have maintained 3rd position on the ladder with a 65 to 40 point win over Wodonga. The Bandits have finished their season on a high, defeating a couple playoff-bound teams across the weekend. The Bandits started with a 92-104 win on the road Friday night against Centre of Excellence before producing some of their best basketball of the season to defeat second place Kills 104-89 at home. OK, time to take a look at some of the other results from the weekend's local sport. In other O&M netball matches, top 5 sides Lavington, Yarrawonga and Wangaratta all had wins. In the local soccer, Albury City defeated Melrose in the women's, while in the men's, Myrtleford had a big win over St Pat's. Albury City upset Melrose, United drew with Cobram and the Boomers also had a win. Meanwhile, our women's Spitfires lost to United, but the men managed to win one of their 2 games. It's looking interesting for rain in the second half of this week. Karl will take you through the detailed forecast when your local news returns. Let's see how the week is shaping up in our weather. It's back to Karl Lijnders. And Karl, we've got more cold fronts on the way this week, so does that mean it's going to be a windy one?
Certainly will be, Kenny, and the overnight temperatures won't be as cold as what we saw on the weekend, thanks to the stirring northwesters and a bit of cloud from time to time, and the odd patch of rain. Tonight we've got some showers moving in out of the northwest and west, but as you can see, not so cold tomorrow morning. We do track fast-moving cold ones very quickly throughout, but this system here cuts off in the westerlies and brings some patchy light rain through northern, western areas of Victoria New South Wales during Friday. Over the weekend, that system looks to, push out to sea, and we have another upper level system that comes through at this stage. That's likely to change, but note the high is sitting a little further to the north with yet another system on the approach towards the second half of next week. So there's certainly some signs there of some further rain to come in our outlook period. The best of the falls through a lot of Victoria and anywhere exposed to a westerly wind regime. At this stage, that is as good as it gets at this point in time. I do suspect that will change damage. We have a severe weather warning in force for damaging winds up to 110 kilometres an hour, definitely through southwestern areas and across areas above 1,200 metres tomorrow. We have got, as I said, a windy day across Victoria. Showers developing from the west. They're going to reach the northeast tonight, break away tomorrow morning, then redevelop in the afternoon. Northwesters dominating the weather as proceedings at the moment, so snowfalls will be moderate at times about northern and western facing slopes of the Great Dividing Range. Wednesday, more of the same. We have showers from time to time. There's no washouts by any stretch of the imagination, but just passing showers. So temperatures with the breaks of sunshine in the mid-teens, and as we track through Thursday, more of the same. Showers from time to time. Unstable enough that we could even see an isolated thunderstorm in the mix as well. And temperatures, again, well above the long-term average, and still the odd shower with some snow possible or graupel across the Alpine peaks. Rain developing on Friday. That'll track out on Saturday. Further unstable conditions with a few passing showers even into this time next week, Kenny.
Okay, thanks, mate. We'll chat to you again soon. Thank you. And that's your local news for this Monday, July the 23rd. Stay with us now for 7 News from Melbourne. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great night, and we'll catch you again tomorrow.